Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sin City Living. My name is Jason. I'll be bringing you today's episode. As always, we'd like to ask you to please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we want to give our usual shout out to our patrons. We appreciate all tips and support. It's only going to go towards making the channel better and hopefully adding more content over time. So, for today, what do I want to cover? I think for today, what I'm going to cover for this particular episode, I just want to show you guys something. I want to show you guys, I guess you could say it's a way not to play, or things not to do, or any other combination of just bad ideas. Basically, I want to show you guys a strategy that we saw 2 days ago at work that was so amazingly nonsensical that it kind of made its rounds through the entire pit. Every dealer, every floor knew exactly who this guy was and exactly what his bets were. Well, not exactly what his bets were, but exactly what his betting strategy was. Just because it was just so nonsensical, it was so idiotic, and it slowed the game down to a remarkable degree. So basically, this guy's entire strategy, he would play a couple things here and there, but his primary strategy was up here. Primary strategy was up in the prop box, and I know you guys can't see the entire prop box. I thought about moving the camera for this, but a lot of it ends up just being on one side that is within your guys' view, so I figured just leave it this way, just to show you how this guy was. So this would be, we'll start with a come-out roll, because he was actually remarkably consistent on his come-out rolls. His primary bet on his come-out roll would be he would throw $5 in. And he would tell the dealer, I want $3 on the 11 and $2 on the 12. So not quite a $5 high load, because that would be way too easy. No, instead it was $3 on the yo and $2 on the 12. So the dealer would say, okay, you got it. 3 yo, 2 12. He'd set it up, set up any other bets. He's just getting ready to move the dice to the shooters so we could actually start the game, and the guy threw in another 5. What can we get for you? I want a 3-way crap, and with the change, put it on the yo. And we looked at him like, you have a 12, you have an 11, and you want a 3-way crap, which includes a 12. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, and you want to add the extra $2 onto the 11. Yeah. So you want a 3-way crap and $2 11. Yes. Okay, we call that a horn high yo. It's a horn bet with an extra $1 on the 11. So we would set up his horn high yo bet, which isn't on the won't be within your guys' view. So we will actually set it up as a 3-way crap and $2 more on the yo. Now this went on for hours. For hours this player would do this. Even after we kept telling him, we would even stand there saying, throw me $10 so that I can set up your usual bet. And he would throw $5 in. Let me get a $3 11, $2 12. Okay, one time one of the dealers actually said, okay, you got a horn high 12, and set it up. And the player just went, okay, this person is the epitome of what we talk about people that see a bet that somebody else does, and they start doing it because either one, they think it sounds cool, or two, they saw somebody win money on it, so they figure this is some can't lose bet, and they keep placing the bet. Usually it's a combination of both. They think it sounds cool, they think it makes them sound like they know what they're doing and they're really good at this game. And they also think the bet is a can't miss. In reality, it's usually the exact opposite. They usually sound like the worst player on the table, or someone that absolutely has no idea how to play. And their bets are usually some of the worst bets on the table. What was really frightening with this person was he was actually teaching somebody else how to play. It was pretty sad. Although she actually started to pick up on the fact that his bets didn't make any sense. Because we kept doing this 4 hours into it, and we're saying that bet is called a horn high yo, and he still wasn't getting it. It was really funny. So after his come out roll bet, which was that $10 was very very consistent. He was doing that one a lot. Next would come his bets once there is a point. So the first thing he would do, he would throw in $5. Let me get all the hard ways and a 12. Okay, not a problem. We'd give him all the hard ways. We'd give him a 12. Then we stand up, and we're getting ready to take other people's bets, because there are more people playing, and As soon as we finish setting up his bet, throw in another 5. And we look at him, yeah. Let me get a 3-way crap, and with the change, put it on the 12. Like, okay, so you got $1 on the ace deuce, $1 on the aces. Now you have a $4 12. Yeah, okay. So we take his bet, take his money, turn to start dealing with other people's bets that have thrown all their bets in and that have actually bet like a normal person and thrown all their money in at once and articulated their entire bet for us all at once. And yeah, what can we get for you? Press all my hard ways and give me an 11. Okay, so we keep in mind the dice still have not gone. Press all the hard ways and an 11. Okay, so at this point, you now have a $5 horn high 12 and a $2 12. You could have thrown us $15 and done all this all at once. We said that to him for 4 hours straight. It was insane. He would do variations of this throughout the through every single roll of dice. Every single roll of the dice, he would take about a minute and a half of our time to set up bets by throwing us $5 at a time and listing out these bets that made no sense. And then when we actually finally had all of his bets put together, we'd realize that he basically had 2 bets. He could have just given us 2 bets that would have been the exact same thing. Hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of this. It was just absolutely ridiculous. This guy was just, let's just say, well known throughout the pit. And it was unfortunate because nobody wanted to sit on that game. So whoever was the box generally got stuck there for a very long length of time. Now, I want to show you that same day, I believe it was. Same day, it may have been the next day. I want to show you a example of what happens when you don't have a great understanding of the game and why it's important to know what your bets paid, know what the odds are of certain bets hitting. I want to show you a roll that we had. We had a roll that went 30 minutes. 30-minute hand. Now, I would like to say that this was an absolute ridiculously monstrous hand, but in reality, this was probably the equivalent of about a 9-minute hand. It was just so impossibly slow that it took 30 minutes, but most of the time, this would have taken about 9 minutes. But I just want to show you guys what the bets were for one side of the table. Coincidentally, it actually is this side of the table. This was the bets. We had one person that had they had the inside, but it was improper. We had another person. This was, I believe, a $10 minimum bet table. Another person that had a bet on the 6. That was it. Also improper. And we had this. On every single hard way. Not going to set it up on the other two because they're not entirely within the range of the camera. And this is only for one side of the table, mind you. Both sides looked approximately like this, but this was the heaviest. This side of the table was the absolute 100% heaviest side of the table. Now, these people hit a couple of hard ways, which is the reason they kept doing this. They hit 1 or 2, so like this person did get 450. Well, it was on the 6, but they did get 450. Here it would have been 350. They did get 450 once, and I think they may have gotten 350 once. This person right here did get 175 once for hitting a hard 10, and they also did get 2 1/4 once for hitting a hard 6 or hard 8. So all these people, they did get paid a couple of times. They did hit these a few times. Right? Which is why they kept doing this. Most of them started out with $1 or $5 hard ways. One of them did start out with green. Then the rest they hit and they started making them green, $25, $50. And then as they would come down, they'd throw it back in, and come down, they'd throw it back in, and come down, they'd throw it back in. They'd be all excited when they'd hit and get their $175 with absolutely no concept of the fact that they just spent $250 in bringing their bets back up constantly because these have such a low probability of hitting. Meanwhile, we are rolling a slew of numbers across, because again, this was the equivalent of 10 to 15 minute hand. This went 30 minutes. There were that 15 minutes, there were probably 17, 18 rolls of the dice. So it was, again, a mind-numbingly slow game, but still 17, 18 rolls of the dice without a 7 rolling. So we were rolling all kinds of numbers over here. These people were basically winning nothing. This person was winning okay, but here's the problem. He would win $21 here. Actually, I've got this wrong. Now that I think about it, it was here, because he would win $17, win $17 here, and throw in $50 because his hard 6 came down, which is off the camera, but over there. Hard 6 came down. He'd throw in $50. So he won 21, and then but lost 50. And this was basically happening constantly. So we had this just amazing, this is not amazing, but this great, really, really good, really money-making hand happen. And these were the bets. They thought they were winning big because they'd get paid, oh, here's 175, here's 350. And yet, amazingly, when this roll ended and the 7 out finally came, and we turned the puck off, this player right here, the player in that position, who had started with $500, had to buy back in for another $500 because they didn't have enough money to play. They were just part of a 30-minute roll. Didn't have enough money to keep playing. Why? How did that happen to you? This right here and this right here is why. They had one bet on the table. It was an improper bet at table minimum. They were giving the casino free money every time it did hit because we were keeping their change, and they never pressed. They just sat there and watched as people won all this money. The other side of the table, while the hardways did look somewhat similar, those people were doing place bets. They were pressing their bets. A couple of people were doing come bets, I believe. But either way, they were winning. They were making money. The other side of the table actually cleared out. After the 7 out finally came, they played one more roll. It was really quick, point, a couple numbers, and then 7 out. So they said, okay, the dice are cooled off. We want our money. We're coloring up. And all those people, they colored up. They colored up. They all left with anywhere between 2 to 6 times what their original buy-in was. This side of the table, every single one of them bought back in within about 15 minutes, and they all played for another few hours and literally gave it back. Not only gave back any money, they didn't win any money. So this is why it's important to have a set strategy in mind when you first come to the table. If you're going to play dice, understand how you want to play. Know what you want to do. Know what your goal is. Know where you're going to make your money. And also, and I've said this before, have a backstop. Have an idea of how much you want to make. So that if you make a certain amount, you know that, okay, that's my stopping point. If I start losing and come down to this point right here, I'm going to quit. So I still leave with money. You're supposed to play for fun. You're supposed to have a good time. But if you do win, don't give it all back. We want to see you leave with money. We want to see you take money and go home. Go home, enjoy your money. You just made some money. Don't give it all back in 15 minutes or even 3 hours. Enjoy your money. If you bought it for $100, you got $300. Go have fun with $200. You got a free $200 to go have some fun. Take the wife, take the girlfriend out for dinner. Go somewhere nice. Go catch a movie, because nowadays that's not cheap. Go to a sporting game. You got some free money. Use it. And I hope you guys find this entertaining. These were two strategies and rolls that just hurt me deep in my soul, because there could have been some money being made and nobody was winning any money for this one. And for the other one, it just hurt me deep in my soul because it was hurting everybody else. The person did not know what they were doing. They were hurting the person they were trying to teach. And every other player on the table was like, can we just get a roll? Can we get these dice moving? Can every time we start to move the dice, another chip was flying at us. And this player could not be educated on what he was betting. He could not. We kept telling him. He just could not be educated on what he was betting, and it's painful to see. So I hope you guys find this semi-entertaining, and by all means, please email us at sincitylivinglv@gmail.com if you have anything you would like us to film. And we'll catch you guys next time. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Bye now.